Who do you think you are, acting so high and mighty? Just shut up and follow me, the next president. The loud voice of Seth, a new employee, echoed across the venue for the opening ceremony of the new business. He was likely drunk, his bravado swelling with every word. Not content with just hurling insults, he dumped a plate of pasta on my head. "Old man, just sit there and eat your pasta quietly." My buddy, Lucas, rushed over in a panic at Seth's outrageous behavior, raising his voice in protest. "James, are you okay? You there, what do you think you're doing? What's your problem, old man? You have no right to lecture me. Who do you think you're talking to? What's your name? Huh? And who the hell are you? Why should the next president like me take orders from you? Get out of my face." Seriously. People who can't pull their weight are so annoying. This must be the very definition of being at a loss for words. He's the next president? How on earth did that idea even come up? The next president? Who said that? I did, old man. And why would you be the next president? Old man, are you even an employee here? Don't you know the president, Mr. Taylor? That's pathetic. If you don't know, I'll tell you. The president here is David Taylor, who is my dad. So naturally, I'm the next president. Wait, what? Is our company a hereditary business? I tilted my head at the mention of a system I'd never heard of. Our company isn't hereditary, but it's merit-based. The chances of you becoming the next president are exactly zero. Huh? What are you talking about, old man? Don't get all bitter and make excuses. Enough of this. Do you even know who you're talking to? Before Lucas could finish, David Taylor appeared, his face pale, rushing over from across the room. Grabbing Seth's head and pushing it down, he frantically apologized. "You idiot! What do you think you're doing? My deepest apologies for my son's outrageous behavior. Dad, what the hell? Why are you apologizing to these nobodies? Shut up. Just be quiet and apologize already." As I glanced back and forth between the apologetic David and his arrogant, insolent son, I let out a quiet sigh. I had thought David was a more capable leader, but it seems I had overestimated him. For the sake of the company, it looks like I'll have to make a decision. Seth, I regret to inform you that your father, the current president, has just been removed from his position. What? Excuse me? This is the perfect opportunity to announce it. David Taylor has been officially dismissed. Wait, what's going on? Why am I being removed? You've got to be kidding me. My dad's the president. And I'm the CEO. CEO? What the hell is that? Don't give me this nonsense. It's unbelievable. He doesn't even know what a CEO is? How did someone like this even get into our company? I heaved a deliberate, exaggerated sigh before announcing the dismissal loud enough for everyone in the room to hear. My name is James, 53 years old. I was born in a place surrounded by mountains and the sea, a town with a small fishing port. While we weren't wealthy, we never went hungry, and life with my kind. Warm-hearted parents and slightly mischievous older sister was quite comfortable. Growing up on fresh seafood and mountain produce, I've loved eating since childhood. I wasn't picky at all and ate heartily, no matter what was served. James, you really love your food. It's so wonderful to see you enjoying it so much. You've got a great appetite. I'll keep working hard to make sure you can always eat your fill of delicious food. Grow big and strong. Because I ate with such enthusiasm wherever I went, the adults around me often gave me little treats. I caught too much fish today. We can't finish it all, so here, James, you can have some. Thank you. I made a cake, James. Would you like some? Yes. I'd love some. Children are the treasures of any community. As one of those treasures, I was doted on by everyone in the neighborhood. At first, my enthusiastic appetite made everyone happy, and they pinned their hopes on my growth. But as my eating habits became increasingly voracious, my body began to grow rounder day by day. James, don't you think you're eating a little too much? Ah, don't worry. Kids are better off a little chubby. By the time he hits adolescence, he'll start caring about his appearance. Really? I'm not so sure about that. It's fine. James takes after me. That's what I'm worried about. What's that supposed to mean, dear? Nothing in particular. Don't worry about it. My parents laughed and bantered over silly things, but mothers tend to have a keen sense about these matters. When I reached adolescence, instead of becoming self-conscious about my appearance, my appetite grew even stronger. There isn't a bigger lunchbox than this one, James. You're the only kid whose lunchbox is larger than their textbooks. I'm one of a kind. That optimism is one of your best traits, James. I suppose I can't complain. As I grew older, my world expanded, and I made more friends. Naturally, this meant my eating habits began to change. A diet rich in fresh seafood and mountain vegetables, centered around traditional Japanese meals, kept me healthy. Even if I overate a little and gained some weight, I could quickly shed it. But junk food was a different story. In middle school, I discovered the taste of burgers, chips, and frappuccinos. These were dangerous. Once fueled by natural ingredients, my body gradually became saturated with additives. My weight spiraled out of control, far outpacing any attempts at dieting, and my face became riddled with acne. James, you need to go on a diet. My pant size hasn't changed yet, so I'm fine. What are you talking about? The sumo team scouted you just the other day. The wrestling team invited you too, didn't they? Well, I am popular. That's not the kind of popularity you should be aiming for. You need to attract girls. Mothers can be so strict. Honestly, walking with you is embarrassing. At least do something about your acne. Acne is a badge of youth. What? Youth is about romance, not acne. That's why only sweaty guys are drawn to you. Here, I've got a lotion that works for acne. Try it. Lotion? That's kind of embarrassing. Your acne-covered face is way more embarrassing. Fine. Mom, can I have some allowance? I just gave you some last week. Don't you understand, Mom? A middle schooler's allowance disappears into food as soon as they get it. When you're young, you're always hungry. Eat as much as you want. But James, don't forget you're single-handedly raising this family's food expenses. Yes. Hearing all that, even I started to feel guilty. But that didn't mean I could stop eating. So, what should I do? If I couldn't stop eating, I could at least change how I ate. With that in mind, I began paying attention to avoid putting unnecessary things into my body. I had chicken nuggets with no sauce. I switched my order from frappuccinos to affogato. It might not seem like a big difference, but at the time, this was the best I could manage. When I started high school, I made new friends. One of them, Lucas, was a bit unusual. In the bustling classroom, he was always sitting alone, quietly reading a book. He wasn't gloomy, but he was calm and came across as incredibly intelligent. Hey, you're always reading, huh? Is it really that interesting? I was too absorbed in playing and eating to care about studying or reading. So, I became curious about Lucas, who seemed like my complete opposite, and struck up a conversation. It's interesting. More interesting than all-you-can-eat food? What kind of comparison is that? Lucas smiled slightly, and it struck me how different he was from the overly serious, quiet image I had of him. He actually seemed approachable. So I kept the conversation going. What kind of books do you read? I don't limit myself to any particular genre. I don't want to close off possibilities. I just pick up anything that piques my interest. Even diet books? Have you finally decided to go on a diet? What? I felt a twinge of sadness, realizing that even someone I barely knew, like Lucas, was concerned about me. Isn't half your body made of cholesterol, James? It's not that bad. But yeah, maybe I'd like to slim down a bit. Are you serious? Kind of. If you're really serious, I'll help you. Really? But only if you're serious. If you're half-hearted about it, I won't get involved. Lucas was much more direct than I had imagined. I'd assumed he was a timid bookworm, but clearly I'd been mistaken. Lucas, please guide me. I wasn't joking. At the time, I was seriously thinking about dieting but had no idea how to start and felt completely lost. If Lucas was willing to help me, maybe I could change. For the first time in my life, I decided to rely on someone else. Alright, starting tomorrow. What are you talking about? We're starting today. What? You want to lose weight, right? Yeah. Then let's go to the library. Sorry, but I already made plans with Thomas and the others today. Cancel them. What? From today on, no hamburgers. But we're going to karaoke. Soda's banned too. What? If you don't like it, I'm out. I'm so sorry. With my head hanging low, I followed Lucas to the library. As we settled into the library lobby, Lucas said, "Can you write down everything you've eaten over the past week? Details of my meals? Write down everything you eat, the time you eat it, and exactly what you ate." I can't remember all of that. Just write down as much as you can recall. As I began writing down my meals from the past week, Lucas's expression gradually darkened. By the third day, a deep furrow appeared between his brows. When I got to the fifth day, he stopped me. Hold on. Are you seriously eating all this? Is it too much? It's not just too much. You're completely overloading yourself. You're exaggerating. As I tried to laugh it off, Lucas shot me a sharp glare, snatched the notebook, and began writing something down. Here's the number of calories you're consuming daily. And this is the estimated number of calories you burn in a day. If you want to lose weight, your calorie intake needs to be lower than your expenditure. For our age, the daily energy requirement is about 2,800 calories. Wow, I think I've heard that before. We learned it in middle school. Did we? I don't remember that. Let's break it down by meal. Ignoring my comment, Lucas pressed on. For example, on this day, you had 3 slices of toast slathered with butter for breakfast. Butter's great. It's delicious. For lunch, you had savory bread, sweetbread, and even a cream-filled donut. The savory bread from the school store is amazing. After school, you stopped at a convenience store and had 3 sweet buns and an ice cream. I also had a bag of chips. This is the total number of calories you consumed that day. When Lucas showed me the numbers, I was stunned. I wasn't just over the calorie limit, and I had easily surpassed it. Surpassed it? No, I had doubled it. Actually, I had gone far beyond even that. I felt horrified by myself. Not to brag, but I don't exercise. It's not that I dislike it, but I just find it too bothersome. Back in middle school, I was in a sports club, so I had no choice but to stay active. But in high school, I happily didn't join any clubs and spent my days completely detached from physical activity. Even I could easily imagine the consequences of continuing my current eating habits. It would lead to something irreparable. First, let's start by reducing your calorie intake. Got it. I nodded obediently and listened carefully to the improvements Lucas suggested. The first step was to reduce portion sizes overall. Snacks were limited to 1 a day. He gave me lots of detailed advice, but the one thing that stood out to me was olive oil. Using olive oil and natural rock salt as a substitute for salad dressing turned out to be a hit, even with my beauty-conscious sister. It quickly became a staple at our family table. How did you know about something as fancy as olive oil? It's in a lot of movies. Movies? I'm a big fan of Audrey Hepburn. Lucas's slightly blushing face was endearing, though I had no idea who he was talking about. Who's that? You don't know Audrey Hepburn? That's basic knowledge. I wasn't sure how basic that knowledge was, but when Lucas took me to watch one of her movies, I was blown away. Audrey Hepburn was adorable, elegant, and had a fairy-like charm. But what intrigued me even more than her was Italy. Pasta, pizza, olive oil, and gelato. I became completely captivated by the stylish and delicious world of Italian cuisine. So, in the end, it's all about food for you, huh? Yeah, but I'm not mindlessly eating like before. By then, I was not only counting calories but also making my own lunches. Cooking was fascinating. The possibilities were endless, and flavors and appearances could change entirely with just a little creativity. Even plating and dishware were part of the art of cooking, making it an incredibly creative process. While I had always hated studying, cooking, which required ingenuity, seemed to suit me. Eventually, cooking became more than just a hobby. It became my life and my future. After high school, I had no hesitation about enrolling in culinary school. I worked hard, so you could go to college. My dad sighed and repeatedly urged me to go to college, but eventually, he came to understand that I was serious about becoming a chef and began to support me. If you're serious about it, then go all out. Forget culinary school, go to Italy. Well, I need to learn the basics first. What are you talking about? If you're serious, you should learn where it all began. You're right, but it still feels too soon. There's no such thing as too soon when it comes to chasing your dreams. His words made me happy, but I wasn't ready to head straight to Italy. I wasn't confident enough. I wanted to build a foundation first. Culinary school was exciting and full of discoveries. With constant practice, my skills steadily improved. One of the special lecturers was a chef from a top Italian restaurant, and watching him work up close was an unparalleled experience. I became even more obsessed with cooking and utterly fascinated by the world of olive oil. The chef must have seen some potential in me, as he reached out with an offer. James, would you be interested in studying in Italy? At your restaurant? Of course. If you're willing, I'd love for you to work with me. As long as I can eat your pasta every day. Va bene. It was a somewhat impure motive, but I wasn't uninterested. More than anything, being invited by a top chef in Italy lit a fire in my heart. After graduating, I followed his invitation and set off for Italy to train. The training was grueling and rigorous, but my friendship with Lucas kept me going. While I had gone to culinary school, Lucas had enrolled in a university in Tokyo. At that time, we made a promise. One day, I'll open my own restaurant. When I do, will you run it with me? You mean as a co-owner? Yeah. I'm great at cooking, but I'm hopeless with numbers. You'd go bankrupt immediately. Pretty much. All right, then. I'll study business management at university. Perfect. I'll handle the flavors, and you handle the finances. With our odd couple dynamic, we'll do great. Our taste in food and women is perfectly aligned too. Exactly. 10 years from now, in Italy. Va bene. I later learned that va bene, meaning, okay, was the first Italian phrase Lucas ever memorized. 10 years later, we reunited in Italy as promised, but I was still in the middle of my training. And Lucas was working in import-export at a trading company. Originally, Lucas had worked at a bank, but after about 5 years, he transitioned to the trading industry. The reason he gave surprised me, saying, "You never know, we might end up dealing with Italian tableware or ingredients someday." What's the deal? Are you planning to conquer the world? If we're doing this, we have to aim for the top. Let's rule the world. Sure. At the age of 32, we opened a small restaurant, but the start was anything but smooth. For foreigners like us to be accepted in the heart of Italy, we needed a tremendous amount of determination and effort. Although we were confident in the taste of our food, success wasn't as simple as that. A significant factor in our success was the support of our staff. Among them, my wife played a huge role. Nicola, whom I met during my training, was a stunning woman who reminded me of Audrey Hepburn, far too accomplished to be with someone like me. I'm the one who's a Hepburn fan, though. She may look like Audrey, but she's not Audrey. Too bad for you. Yeah, Audrey was like a fairy, wasn't she? Hearing this, Nicola would laugh heartily. She was undoubtedly the star of our restaurant. Whereas Lucas and I were stoic and stubborn, Nicola always brightened the restaurant's atmosphere with her gentle demeanor and radiant smile, balancing out our rigid personalities. I've noticed something recently. Japanese food pairs really well with Italian cuisine. True, pasta and soy sauce are a great match. And the combination of natto, which is fermented soybeans, and perilla leaf is unbeatable. Why not try experimenting with it? Let's do it. Just, no natto, please? Understood. With Nicola's advice, we incorporated Japanese flavors into our Italian dishes. The result was a hit. And our restaurant gained a modest but growing reputation locally. Before we knew it, the business expanded, growing into a holding company with its headquarters in Italy and several subsidiaries under its umbrella. 8 years ago, we opened a branch in Japan and appointed Lucas as its president. However, it wasn't long before Lucas approached me with a request. I'd like to step back into a behind-the-scenes role. Who's going to be the president, then? There's someone I have in mind. Unlike me, he's sociable and highly trusted by the employees. I think he'd be excellent at motivating the team. If you're confident in him, I'll trust your judgment. Taking Lucas's advice, I appointed David Taylor as the president. David was known for being thoughtful and considerate, and is one of the founding members of the Japan branch. He had been Lucas's right-hand man from the beginning. With someone like him in charge, there was no reason to worry. Lucas's decision to step back was to focus on a new venture. Our restaurant and the Italian gourmet goods shop we operated were both doing well, but we wanted to try something new. Don't you want to do something exciting, like we used to do? Well, we're middle-aged now, so if we're going to do it, it's now or never. Alright, let's do it. Do what? How about a restaurant where customers can create their own dishes? Wouldn't that be fun? You mean a cooking studio? Not exactly. Imagine they could choose their own pizza toppings, salad dressings, or whatever, and make their own original recipes. Like a drink station but for food? Exactly, something like that. We would import sauces, oils, and herbs directly from Italy. In addition, we plan to offer original products. By including rare and luxurious items that people wouldn't normally try at home, we aim to create a truly exciting experience. We also decided to implement a system where customers could order their favorite items on the spot. It was sure to bring a sense of excitement and joy to our guests. After 3 years of planning, the first store for this new venture was set to open in Tokyo. To celebrate the opening, we organized an exclusive launch event for our employees to enjoy first. Dressed in the staff uniform, I decided to surprise and personally serve our team. Do you really think the employees can relax if you're the one serving them? None of them even know what I look like. Do you think I would let our employees receive such poor education? What? Are they worshipping my photo every morning or something? That's a bit much, but everyone definitely knows the faces of the executives. I'll just put on glasses and disguise myself. More than anything, I wanted to hear their unfiltered thoughts. I wanted to see with my own eyes how our new store would surprise and delight them. On the day of the ceremony, I put on a bow tie, donned glasses, and blended into the crowd. This is amazing, so delicious. Wow, I didn't know these spices existed. I'd love to try this at home. Let's try that one next. The employees were chatting excitedly, enjoying themselves without a care for the serving staff. Watching them eat delicious food and happily customize their dishes, all with radiant smiles, filled me with joy. This is a success, I thought to myself, grinning. Then my attention was drawn to one man causing trouble. He was adding toppings to a female employee's bowl of dressing without her permission. Hey, stop that. It looks better with this added. Don't mess with my food. I'm just helping out. You're being rude. You're the one being rude. The man, likely drunk, continued to smirk and pester her relentlessly. I couldn't just stand by and let it happen. Excuse me, you need to stop bothering her. Ha? Who are you, old man? She clearly doesn't like what you're doing. Shut up. Why don't you stick to serving food or something? I don't take orders from you. Who do you think you are, acting so high and mighty? Just follow the orders of the next president, me. The next president? Who's that supposed to be? Me, of course. I'm Seth. I recognized him. He was one of the new employees who had just joined this spring. I haven't heard anything about that. You're part of the company, aren't you? If you don't know me, you're a fake. You're fired. Seth's loud voice echoed across the venue. He was clearly drunk and emboldened by it. Not content with just shouting insults, he dumped a plate of pasta on my head. The impact knocked my glasses to the floor. Old man, just shut up and eat your pasta. Well, at least it was chilled pasta. The cool, al dente pasta brushed against my cheek. Seth's outrageous behavior startled my buddy, Lucas, who rushed over. James, are you okay? What do you think you're doing? What's your problem, old man? I don't need your lecture. At that moment, Nicola ran over as well. Darling, what happened? You're covered in pasta. I'm fine, don't worry. Just as Nicola offered me a handkerchief, Seth grabbed her hand. Wow, you're gorgeous. Forget this old guy, come have a drink with me. Let go of me. How rude. Wait, what? What are you saying? I don't understand. That angry face of yours isn't bad either. Let go of her. Shut up. Don't get in my way. Who is this man, anyway? Don't worry about this washed-up old man. Let's go. Nicola, visibly agitated, was speaking in Italian, but it seemed Seth didn't understand a word of it. He didn't even notice that Nicola was referring to me as my husband. What's with your attitude? What's your name? Ha? Who the hell are you? Why should the next president like me have to take orders from you? Don't come near me. Useless people like you are such a pain. This must be what people mean when they say they're left speechless. The next president? Him? Ridiculous. How could anyone come to such an absurd conclusion? And why do you think you're the next president? Old man, don't tell me you work here and don't even know the president, Mr. Taylor? That's pathetic. Fine, I'll educate you. The president is David Taylor, who is my dad. So, naturally, I'm the next president. Our company isn't hereditary, but it's merit-based. The chances of you becoming the next president are 0. What are you talking about, old man? Don't be bitter and make excuses. Enough, you need to stop this. This man is... Lucas began, but he was cut off as David, his face pale as a sheet, rushed over from a distance. What are you doing? My deepest apologies for the terrible behavior of my son. Dad, what the hell? Why are you apologizing to these people? Shut up. Be quiet and apologize right now. Watching David bow low while his arrogant son stood defiant, I couldn't help but sigh. I had thought David was more capable, but it seems I had overestimated him. For the sake of the company, a decision had to be made. Seth, was it? I regret to inform you that your father, the current president, has just been dismissed. What? Ha? This is a good opportunity to announce it here. David has been officially removed from his position. Wait, what? Why am I being dismissed? Old man, don't be ridiculous. My dad's the president. And I'm the CEO. CEO? What the hell is that? Stop spouting nonsense. Good grief, he doesn't even know what a CEO is. How did someone like this get hired at our company? This is why I've always argued against nepotism. David, it seems you've been abusing your position for personal gain. What do you mean by that? Don't bother feigning ignorance. We have evidence of your misappropriation of company funds. There must be some mistake. What kind of mistake would result in tens of thousands of dollars disappearing annually? Our company vehicles are all Corollas. None of our executives drive a Lexus. David's face turned ashen as if all the blood had drained from it. And then there's the exorbitant entertainment expenses. Who on earth are you entertaining to rack up such bills? David R's face grew even paler as if all the blood had drained from his body, truly a pitiful sight. On top of that, you've been violating company rules by unilaterally exercising personnel authority. That's preposterous. We've received complaints from every department. Ugh. When the Japan branch was first established, you served as Lucas's right-hand man. Because of that, I considered turning a blind eye to minor issues. But when we investigated, issue after issue came to light. This goes far beyond minor. And the complaints are endless. You change your behavior drastically depending on who you're dealing with. We also have numerous recordings of your inappropriate remarks. And your misuse of company funds is far from negligible. I can't protect you anymore. It's over. David, drenched in cold sweat, stood trembling, his face an unrecognizable shade of pale. This was something I planned to address later, but after witnessing your son's behavior, I can't wait any longer. Your son has no sense of respect when speaking to others, no manners toward women, and doesn't even know basic Italian. Despite our company being headquartered in Italy. Worse still, he doesn't recognize the CEO's face. He is utterly unfit for this company. Starting now, both you and your son are dismissed. This is outrageous. You don't have the authority. This is my company. I make the rules. As much as I dislike saying such words, removing harmful elements from the company as early as possible was a necessity. Besides, you can tell a lot about a parent by observing their child. It seemed I had misjudged him. As I was mulling this over, Lucas turned to me with an apologetic expression. I'm sorry. I failed to see the warning signs. It's my fault for recommending him for president and causing this mess. As his superior, I take full responsibility. I'll resign from my chairman position. That's unnecessary. No, it's my duty. Lucas is a stubborn guy. Once he's made up his mind, there's no changing it. With a heavy sigh, I decided to accept his proposal. All right, you'll step down as chairman. Lucas, you'll take on the role of U.S. operations head starting next month. I'll issue the official order soon. Ha! We're opening a new store in Las Vegas. You'll transfer there as an advisor. Wait, what? I just told you I'm resigning to take responsibility. Exactly, so you're being demoted to Las Vegas. How is that a demotion? You're being removed from the chairman position and transferred to our Las Vegas branch. How about it, branch president? I turned to the person already appointed as the branch president for our Las Vegas office. He quietly murmured, "He's very reliable," and gave a firm nod. There you have it. Lucas, do your best. Not you too, Nicola. The employees who had been watching the exchange erupted into enthusiastic chatter. Congratulations on your transfer to the US. Bring us back some souvenirs. Let's have next year's company trip in Las Vegas. Amid the lively laughter, Seth and David stood dumbfounded, watching the scene unfold. Oh, you're still here? The termination notices will be sent out tomorrow. Leave now. They seemed too stunned or perhaps too weak to move. With no other choice, I called security. Please escort these two out. Tonight's party is for employees only. As the father and son were escorted away by security, the light in their eyes had completely faded. Perhaps this experience will teach them a lesson, and they might find a different future. But that future isn't here. There is no place for them in the future of our company. Let them strive in a separate world, one that will never intersect with ours. With that thought silently echoed in my mind, I turned back to face my employees once again. Sorry for the unsightly scene, everyone. Let's start fresh. First, you need a change of clothes. Even for an Italian company, pasta isn't something you wear. Oh, right. Pasta is meant to be enjoyed, not worn. Perfect timing. We had matching outfits tailored for today. Let's put them on. Great idea. I'll get changed. When Nicola and I returned to the venue in our new outfits, the energy in the room soared. Nicola's dress was stunning, so much so that she was absolutely mesmerizing. She truly embodies the perfect image model for our company. Nicola, who once served as the charming face of our small restaurant, has now become a thriving influencer. She has made immense contributions to our company's PR efforts. Her warmth and beauty are sure to win over Las Vegas in no time. I must say, the decision to transfer Lucas to Las Vegas couldn't have worked out better. Here's a little secret: Nicola and I have a son who works in the Las Vegas showbiz industry. With Lucas nearby, I'll feel more at ease, and it will give me more opportunities to visit under the guise of inspections. I hope this will serve as a small gesture of gratitude to Nicola for everything she's done to support us. In this regard, I owe a bit of thanks to those two troublemakers for their perfectly timed intervention. How about making next year's company trip to Las Vegas? That sounds wonderful. Wow, Las Vegas? I can't wait already. We just trimmed unnecessary expenses earlier. Cut me some slack. Fair enough, my apologies. Seeing Lucas scolding us with that adorably serious expression made us burst into hearty laughter. With the dead weight gone, we're free to move forward. First stop, Las Vegas. What's next? Ideas are bubbling up endlessly, and we're full of energy and enthusiasm. Lucas, what's the next step? I'd like to explore a completely different world. Movies, maybe? Sure, that could be fun. Then let's start with a deep dive into the Las Vegas showbiz scene. Of course, it always comes back to Las Vegas. We're not stopping anytime soon, so we'll keep searching for the next exciting challenge. After all, our journey is about bringing smiles to people's faces and filling stomachs worldwide. Today and every day, let our spices brighten your table. Enjoy your one-of-a-kind customized menu and have a dazzling day.